Hello and welcome to a special broadcast of Nick's News. That's right, we are having a special Thursday broadcast because we are going to do something very special that we haven't done in a while. I hope you can hear me okay. We are using a lapel mic and it's clipped to my collar here. Actually, it's turned the wrong way. Just a moment. Hopefully, there we go. A little bit more towards me. Hello, Becky. So I can't see the chat very well at this distance. So I have the stream open on my phone right here so I can check it out and see what y'all might be saying. Am I coming in all right? Am I a little loud? How do I sound? And looking at the chat, I might need to maybe clip this just a little lower. Better position for the mic now. Doing good. Quit fussing. Yes, you are good. Thank you very much. All right. Well, so this is going to be a very special episode. For several months now, we have owned a Phrynus Amblypygids. Phrynus Amblypygids is a tailless whip scorpion. They are a tropical species, and we have had Ripley, our Phrynus Amblypygids, for quite some time. She is right now here in her current home. Something that I like to do, I like to set up bioactive vivariums to kind of try to mimic the homes of my bugs just a little bit more. They don't need a lot. It's interesting when you get into bug husbandry. Bugs don't need much. They need light. Some of them need light. Some of them need darkness. Some of them need high temperatures. Some of them need normal temperatures. Some of them need high humidity. Some of them don't care what the humidity is. And a lot of the bugs that I keep are in the latter. Sue, our Asian forest scorpion, is very temperate. He doesn't need a super special enclosure, but a while ago we decided we were going to give him one. So we gave him an awesome new home. Same with Elmira Hug and Kiss, our tailed whip scorpion, who's directly to my right here. And Sue is back here. So I like building out these terrariums for them. It's a little bit more like what they're used to if they were in the wild. So we are going to rehouse Ripley. Now, right now, Ripley is kind of tucked in here. And so we're going to grab a containment vessel for Ripley because Ripley is very scuttley. And I want them to be safe and sound away from all of the hubbub of what we are up to. But this should give you a good look at Ripley as I get her out of here. So let me move this cork bark that we are preparing to put into her new home. And I'll take off her old thermometer. I have a new one for this tank too. I'm basically just going to start taking apart this old tank. Now we're going to use as much as we can from this tank. There's a lot of really good bioactive soil in this tank that I have been curating. I've thrown a bunch of cleaners in. She ate a bunch of them, but she hasn't eaten all the important cleaners. So we want to move as much of that dirt out of this enclosure and into this new one. So we're going to start taking this apart. Didn't expect that to be there. Looks like that's part of her lunch that she didn't get. So we're going to put that into this tank. Go on. No, not on my finger. Oh, not there either. Uh-oh. There you go. It was a waxworm moth. Yeah, not sure how that got out. So let's get a containment vessel for Ripley. And it's funny, I actually have Ripley's old containment vessel down here. I call it a containment vessel like she's some sort of horrible creature because, I mean, in actuality, she kind of is. So I think this one is going to do. Let me find a top for it. Nope, not big enough. Oh, where'd the top go for this one? Funny, it's the last thing I thought of. Well, maybe we'll be okay. Ripley is very spindly. That's the problem with Ripley. No, she's your baby. Ripley is indeed my baby. I do baby this bug quite a bit. Um, yeah, we should be okay with what we're going to try here. So we're going to try to use this cup. Oh, you know what? There's the topper for it, isn't it? Yep, that's the top. She's not very big. Out of my 3 bugs that I keep, out of my 3 arthropods that I have, she's actually the smallest by weight. Now, she is the longest because she has some very special antenniform legs that waggle about because she's practically blind. Yeah, this is going to be, I see that producer Donna says this is going to be fun because she's very fast. Out of the 3, she's also the fastest. So let's get her cork bark out of here. I might want to reuse some of these smaller pieces of cork bark for this. And the moment I pull this one away, she's hiding right behind it. So I'm going to very carefully tease this back and pull that piece out. And she is tucked in against the wall here. I'm going to try to coax her up and out of this tank. Yeah, she knows I'm here. She can sense that something's up. Hey, girl. Yeah. I washed my hands, so she is going to rock it up here. Oh, yeah. Oh. So she does this thing when she's upset where she flails really fast. She doesn't like me much, so she started to flail a little. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh. She is so quick. It is horrifying. Oh, how am I going to get you out of here so I can move you? Just very carefully. Yeah. Oh, she also has an attack pose. The reason I'm jumping is because she's running so fast in here. I don't know if the camera's picking her up. She is just so quick. Oh, yeah, she does not want to come out very much. So we're going to try a different trick. Try to coax her with this lid. Yeah. You're good. Come on, girl. Come on. She has a really bad smack, too, with her claws. Oh. Come on. She just keeps running up and down. I might just have to take this whole piece out and keep her on it. I think I'll do that, actually. Careful. Yep, I see that. Remember, guys, this is the critter that likes to click like a predator and scares the snot out of Nick. That is entirely true, producer Donna. I think I'm just going to try to take the whole backer out. I don't think she's going to come quietly, so I'm going to see if this backer will come loose. Yep, the whole backer is going to come out. I'm going to need to pull this out anyway, so... Nope. Yeah. I know, you're not happy. It's moving day. You're like, why are you taking apart my old house? It's because we have a better one for you, girl. You know, and if worse comes to worse, I can just buy new backer. Yeah, I'm just going to take this out. There you go. Oh, that is a horrible sound, I know. What's keeping her from running out the front door? She doesn't want to run out the front door is the big thing. She doesn't want to run out of this enclosure. They don't need huge amounts of space. Finally. She's still on there? She is. Hello, beautiful. All right, I am going to bring her up to the camera. If you do not like arachnids, if you have a fear of bugs, you have until I get to the camera. You've been warned. I am going to bring her up there, though. I do want to show her off. You're fine, girl. She's being very nice now. So, for those who want to see, this is Ripley. A tailless whip scorpion. Phrynus Amblypygids, we believe. Now, way off to the sides are those antenniform legs. She's got them really splayed out right now. There's one right up here. Her other one is down here. She's kind of feeling things out, trying to figure out what's going on. Why I think she's a female is because her claws, which you can see up front, are very small relative to her size. What I've seen of males, their claws are on elbows that are way out. They've got this huge reach. And hers are very short. So that's why I've been led to believe that she is a female. She is glorious. So we are going to set her up in a place that I can keep an eye on her, which is just going to be right back here. Again, she's being very chill right now. She isn't doing anything. She's been moved around a lot, so she's going to go into a bit of a resting phase, probably. Yeah, I know, girl. That was exciting. Now, most of the vivariums I build, I don't use backers because I don't like them, or I don't tend to like them, but not only is Ripley tropical, but Ripley also tends to thrive in caves. So a backer, a nice climbing surface in the back, is actually good in this case. So the tank that we've prepared, or are going to prepare for Ripley, this much larger tank, which is one of my former mantis tanks, does have a stone backer. It's got a foam stone backer on it, and it's going to allow her to climb around and basically simulate if she had a partial cave system. Ryan, he's going to look over at some at some point and say, uh-oh, where did she go? Ryan, don't put that into the universe. I'm going to keep looking at her periodically. A lot going on with her old soil. I'm going to move all my supplies over. Everything has a purpose. I don't need to have this old thermometer here anymore, so that's going to go on the floor. And the clips for her light are going to go on Sue's tank. Now, something I will say while I'm doing this broadcast, Sue molted. If you checked out our Instagram, you might have seen a picture of it. Sue has put on his big boy pants, and he is enormous. He has not let me see his full size. He's been coming out just to the edge of his hide, and I can tell that he is a Goliath now. So he got big. I am hoping during a stream he will come out so that y'all can see how big he's grown. Okay. Let me get my trash out of here. Right down there. So, how do we start to build our vivariums? Or how do I like to build a vivarium? You hang out right there, Ripley. With a basic setup like this, we're going to go for a high humidity tank. So I do have a cover. So this is a mesh top, but I do have a cover that's going to hold humidity in, and it's going to allow me to rest the light like practically right on top of it because it's a fluorescent. So it's a low heat bulb. Most of the heat for my vivariums is generated by just the temperature that I keep this room. So luckily for all of my species, they don't require super high temperatures. Because we know we're going to have a bit of moisture, we are going to put in a moisture barrier. And from a few of my older tanks, I have reclaimed a ton of clay balls. Now, these clay balls are perfect to serve as a moisture barrier. They help to keep that layer of soil towards the bottom dry, nice and dry. They prevent fungus from setting up. Just overall, a great idea is to set up a moisture barrier in your tank. And so I'm going to lay down a layer of this gravel, of these clay balls. You stay put. Like she'd listen to me. Also, there's something special in this little tank. I know it's hard to see, but this has something in it that I'm also going to show off because it's going to go in here with Ripley. And you want a decent layer of these things. Where did you get the clay balls? Is this from a pet store? Yes, this is from a pet store. I got these. I tend to get these from Petco. Petco sells them a pretty decent price. They're called Hydro Balls, or I think this brand is specifically Hydro Balls. They're just clay bentonite, and they just absorb moisture a little bit, just enough to help prevent kind of prevent fungus from setting up in your tank bottoms. Yes, the lizard section. It is over in the lizards and invertebrate section. And once I have a good layer of these down and I can't see that glass bottom anymore, we'll be pretty good. So maybe a couple more handfuls and we'll have a good moisture layer down. Couple more. Now, Sue and Ripley's tanks, or not Ripley, sorry, Elmira. Elmira's actually out right now. I can see her right here. I really need to get an Elmira cam that just aims right in at her so that y'all can see her, because she is stunning to watch work. When she's bulldozing everything I built. Because Elmira and Sue are diggers, I didn't do one of these false bottoms. I didn't do one of these moisture bottoms because I want their soil to be nice and slightly damp, good for them to be able to move around and dig through and set up their burrows in. And I have succeeded because they have both built extensive burrows. I think we're pretty good on our clay ball layer. It always takes a lot more than you think. With that, we get the clay balls out of here. So, you still good? She's started to wave her arms around now, trying to figure out what's going on. She's not used to being exposed like this. So next up, you need to have a barrier between those clay balls and your soil. That's going to allow for an exchange of gas. It's going to allow for that moisture to go down into the clay ball, but it's also going to keep the soil from just compacting into the clay balls and ruining their purpose. So you can buy really expensive special moisture barriers. I don't. I buy charcoal windowsill because it works, or not windows, charcoal window screen. This stuff works like a charm. It's non-toxic to the insects. You specifically have to get the ones that are not toxic to insects because there are now ones that are toxic to insects on the market. So grab the ones that are non-toxic. And what I like to do is just measure out what I'm working with. So I brought my tape measure. I put it on the table. You're good. She is really trying to figure out what the hell is going on now. She is not used to being out in the open. She is used to being in a tiny, tiny home by comparison. So to our rock wall, we're working with about, we probably want to go with 10.5 inches. And the interior of this tank is about 12. Now you want to go over, when you're doing your moisture barrier, go over the size of what you're mapping out, because you want to do an upward lip that is going to catch that soil that you're putting in, so that, again, you're preventing a mix. You don't want your moisture barrier to subduct down into the clay balls. You want it to be up, acting like a catcher's mitt. So I am going to cut, I am probably going to cut a 10.5 by 12. I'm going to cut a 10.5 by 12.5. And I think I'm going to double layer this one, because I'm expecting this one to be a bit on the wet side. I'll move the chat, or what I can see of the chat, up here. Keep an eye on her. I can move her new equipment too for now. Yeah, we'll go with that. And it's nice because, oh, yep, that's what I was afraid of. She went scuttling. Come on. There you go. Back up on, there you go. There you go. You like to be there. I don't know if you can see her. She's right here. She just went under the table and then right back up. So we will start cutting this, realizing that we are on a bit of a time crunch now, because Her Royal Highness is not happy with this. Her Royal Alienness is very much not happy with any of this. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Ryan called it. Yep. All right. So let's fit our moisture barrier in. I want to pump it up a little bit in the back, because I'm up against that fake stone. Kind of want to tuck it in. And for this first one, might not be exactly what I want. I might have to go with 2 layers. Yeah, I am probably going to have to work a second layer into this, if just because of the irregular nature of this tank. Yep, I am going to make a second one. I'm going to make it a little bigger than what I did this time. And this stuff is cheap. As far as I'm aware, this charcoal window screen is still super cheap. I know the price of everything these days is just astronomically horrible, but this stuff continues to be relatively inexpensive. And it's super forgiving, working as a membrane. So there we go. That's what I needed, was just a nice large second sheet to cover up my problems with that first one. So we'll tuck that all in. Now we're ready to start getting this dirt in. So I've got the sides done up. Just gotta, I can move it, I can shift it a little bit this way, and I can just pull this side up. So again, catcher's mitt. We are thinking we want this to act like a catcher's mitt for all the dirt that's about to go in here. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. Hey, Julie. All right. So that's done with. We can move that out of the way. I want to do this. It's not an exact science, but you do want to make sure it works. So keep looking over at her, double checking. She's just chilling like an evil alien villain. There we go. We're going to try to get our money's worth out of these lapel mics too. Okay, that's good. Got it in the corners. All right, so now we are ready to start adding our dirt. Are playing a game called I'm Gonna Scuttle Off When You're Not Looking. Thanks, producer Donna. All right, so don't need the paper. We don't need this anymore. We don't need my scissors anymore. Sue has not come out. Elmira doesn't care about any of this motion. She is just all for chaos and havoc. So we are going to start moving dirt. Yeah, she's currently right here, exposed, just chilling. So we're going to start moving all this dirt, as much of this dirt as we can, into this new enclosure. So basically time to get dirty. No pun intended. Because again, there's a lot of bioactivity in this soil. And that is what I want. I want all of the nice microfauna that is living in this tank in this new home. So I am going to use that as the base layer for her new tank before I put more soil in. Break up the clods a bit. Push it into the corners. Use my catcher's mitt of nice medium, my nice barrier. And just keep tearing this all up. Just wanted to check the chat, see if any of y'all have any questions or anything. By all means, if you do, I am available to answer anything you ask. This is kind of a nothing to do but watch moment as I shovel dirt out of an old home and into a new one. I do thank you all for tuning in or catching the replay of this. I get that this moment is a little bit on the silent side. I don't really have much to say while I'm scooping dirt and looking for stuff. What are you using for soil? Mulch, garden soil? So what I am using is neither mulch nor garden soil. What I like to use is, and this isn't a plug for it, but ZooMed's Reptisoil is awesome. This stuff is very nice. It's a cocoa fiber mix. It promotes a lot of microfauna growth. It really is some of the best soil that I've used, and I have been using it in all of my vivariums at this point. We've almost got all this old dirt out. I'm going to have to vacuum, but that's an after stream thing. It's all clumped up front here. Huh. And there's a little bit of microfauna left in here. It's kind of crappy. For a little bit there, I was not able to get the right food for Elmira, or not for Elmira, for Ripley, and she ate most of her cleaning crew. So what we have in that little tank is her new cleaning crew, which is going to go in here in just a moment, along with some of this Reptisoil. I also had some other cleaners in here that I am not seeing anymore, so I'm not sure what happened to them. I might have to borrow some soil from another tank to kickstart this one. All right, I think that's about as much as we're going to get out of here. I'm going to grab these scissors real quick, and I'm going to cut this barrier down just a hair. Made it a little tall. A little taller than it needed to be. There we go. That's about all the soil I'm going to get out of there. Yeah, those cleaners I put in are gone. Huh. I'm going to have to pull some from another tank soon to get her more. So that's in there. So let's move on and get some of our Reptisoil in here. Actually, I'm going to moisten this. And do you use the same cleaning crew for all three of the bugs? I do not. I use the same springtails, but I have varied up the roly-polies that they all utilize. I really like having some variety with the roly-polies. And I'm going to show off the special ones I got today for Ripley's tank. There was also a worm in here that is gone. I wonder if Ripley got it. That's wild. I wouldn't expect her to. So this Reptisoil, by comparison, is very nice, dark jungle soil. Fantastic for growing plants and just maintaining a really good environment. So we're going to layer that on. I'm going to grab my spray bottle and I'm going to hit this with just a little bit of water. Where'd my spray bottle go? Uh-oh. Oh. I had a green spray bottle out. I don't see it. I'm a little worried, because that means I have to go somewhere to go find it. Which means I won't be watching after Ripley for a little bit. Yep, that spray bottle's gone. And I need it. So I need you to stay. I need you to be a good girl. I'll be back. This is dangerous. How is it? Huh. I just went through my hole upstairs and didn't see it. Are you still there? You're still there. Oh, there it is. Wow. That is not where I needed it. It was not behind me. Stay put. Thank you. And I like to use DI water for all of my tanks. That way I'm not putting anything harmful into them. Just going to give this soil a little spritz, just to start getting this humidity up. Okay, and throw in a little bit more soil. DI water is distilled water, yes. And yes, I missed that question earlier. I'm sorry. So cleaners, Becky, are basically they clean up after whatever lives in the tank. Springtails are very tiny little critters that love to clean up fungi, and they love to eat the leftovers of bigger bugs. But really, isopods aka roly-polies or wood lice, are the stars of the cleaning, of the bug cleaning world, apart from ants, but I am definitely not putting ants into any of these tanks. Ants are definitely a wild card. Okay. So that's going to be good for the soil, I think. So now I'll give this one more spritz, and I will show off the cleaning crew that I have acquired for Ripley. So I saw that these were on sale today, and I have never owned them, but I absolutely love them. Stay put. Thank you. And I will show them off now. I picked up dairy cow isopods. Algae eater fish. Yes, these are like algae eater fish. So I picked up dairy cows. They are little white and black spotted isopods. I picked up an entire colony of them. I'm going to be put on the smart TV, but I won't be able to chat. Going to take care of Castle and Kaylee. That's great. That's great, Julie. No worries. So, dairy cow isopods. They are adorable, and they eat just detritus like nobody's business. So they are all going in here. I am going to liberally apply the dairy cows. And I was hoping that there were springtails in here too, but I might still have to pull the springtails from somewhere else, from another vivarium. I have active springtail cultures, so... There we go. Okay, so all of our dairy cows are now in here. Now, how are the dairy cows going to hide? How are they going to be safe? Because they love to burrow into, they love to hide in like moss and stuff. Producer Donna asked, what isopods do I have in the other tanks? So I have common wood lice in with Elmira, because Elmira is native to the US. So I don't need super special isopods with Elmira. However, because Sue is a very messy eater, Sue has giant canyon isopods. They're enormous, and they hide out in different parts of his tank where he has not gotten them, and they just clean up after his messes. So Elmira is usually pretty good about hers, but she's got a small army of just common wood lice, and our big boy has big wood lice. Okay, so now that we've got that all set, we are going to provide the primary humidity keeper for this tank, which is a ton of natural moss. And this moss in particular is fresh mood moss. Now, there's going to be probably some life in here too, which is absolutely fine. We want to make this a bioactive vivarium. So, you know what? I don't want to open this on the table because I don't want to spook her. But yeah, 2 quarts of just beautiful, healthy, living moss. Now, I order this from Josh's Frogs. Some folks have issues with Josh's Frogs, and frankly, I understand. I barely use them. I only really use them when I absolutely have to, or for product that I can't really get very well anywhere else. And it just turns out that this moss from them is the best moss. So there might be springtails living in these moss cultures. If there are, that'll be fantastic, and that'll help these take off. So we are just going to take this great moss, which holds moisture really well. So royal bugs with butlers and maids. Yes, Becky, royal bugs with butlers and maids. We're going to take this nice carpet moss, and we are just going to layer it in here. And that's going to provide a nice hiding spot for the cleaning crew, for the dairy cows. I'm hoping that they will come up and out into this stuff and just play around in it. It'll be great for food for them. I maybe put a little bit too much dirt in here, but it'll compact over time. Yep, it's still good. It's a day late, so I was legitimately worried a little bit. Yeah, there might actually be springtails in here, which would be very nice. Well, one way or another, we'll have springtails in this culture. I'm actually gonna, I see one of the dairy cows is hiding in the back. I'm gonna get it out of there. Come here, you. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get you out of there, am I? No, you live there. You'll come out later, I'm sure. Okay, let's keep adding this moss in. Start building this up. Now, because this is kind of just a really nice humid cave system, I'm not adding many plants in. Ripley doesn't need them. Ripley doesn't climb plants. They climb solid strata. So like the rock wall or the cork bark that's going to go in here. I might add some plants down the road. Who knows? But for now, it's just going to be this moss to maintain her humidity because she likes it nice and humid. And we'll go from there. I saw one of those dairy cows under there, probably hiding out. I did not expect to use almost this entire thing of moss in here, but, you know, it happens. Stretch and spread the moss a little. Check on that dairy cow that we saw. Yep, it's okay. Okay, and we'll give this a spritz. Get this moss rehydrated. I'll keep this last piece and I'll actually put it in this tank over here. I think it'll be good to kickstart the moss growth in that tank. So I'll move this down here. So apart from that, we really just need to do some finishing touches with designing this tank up and having climbing medium in here for Ripley. So our climbing medium is going to be cork bark. Cork bark is very simple, it's inexpensive, it's natural, and it's fantastic for climbing creatures. So we've got these really nice half logs. I think I want to use this big half log. I think all this lichen on it looks really good. So we're going to set that up in here. I'll have to clean this table later. That should be okay. So I'll move this so y'all can see what we're doing. So we've got our rock backer. We've got all of our moss here on the bottom. So let's pop the top of this off for now. Come on. Uh-oh. There we go. There's an order to taking these tank tops off. And we'll just put it over here because nothing bothers Elmira. So let's set this in and let's see. I got these from a friend, my friend Isaac. Let's see if this is going to size up just right. Pretty close. This chunk is kind of preventing it from tucking in the way I want, though. I kind of want to make this like a log coming up out of the middle. Just a nice big hide for Ripley. And she can live in the darkness and come out when it's nice and dark for her, because again, she's nocturnal. She's my most nocturnal creature, which was a crazy good movie, by the way, Nocturnal Creatures. So how do we want to set this up? Do we want to have it coming this way? No. Do we want to turn it? No, I kind of think that this was the route to go. I think having it like this, so there's a nice hollow underneath it, is good for hiding. But I hate this chunk off to this corner, so can I get through this with scissors? Nice thing about cork bark, you don't need anything super crazy to cut and break it. You can kind of score it or just crack it off. And I think after taking that off, yep, there we go. So now that is settling down there very nicely. There's a nice hollow behind it, nice darkness, perpetual darkness for her that she'll take to. And we'll set her up. We'll take a piece from her old home so that she's not without that. Some level of being able to smell her old home that she's been in probably for a while. We'll take the larger of the two, this nice piece of cork bark that she's pretty much always had, and we'll just nestle it up against this side of the tank to give her an extra little hiding spot for when she comes out and hunts. And actually, I'm going to put it up against this. Yeah, we're going to do something like that right there. So just some bark for her to hide behind. Nothing too crazy. She's got a nice moss layer out front. We'll give that a little spritz to crank that humidity up. Start getting that humidity up there for her. So that is all of the parts and pieces that we really have to install. What do we have left to do? Well, we've got to put in the ways that we are going to monitor this tank's health. How we are going to do that is with a thermometer, hygrometer combination. I want to know the humidity in the tank. I want to know the temperature of the tank. Again, Ripley is pretty low maintenance, but it's always good to know how the humidity is doing, because that is the thing that she likes, is pretty decent humidity. So I will be sticking this probably right here, because how this tank is going to be oriented, that'll keep all my thermometers lined up. Yep. So Ripley check. Still good. Still hanging out right there. So we'll put this right here on the side of the tank. Now, what's really cool about some of these Exoterra tanks is they have inputs in the back for your cords, for your very important cords, for your thermometers, for your hygrometers. So we're going to put the tank top back on and we're going to feed these through. Now, I think I'm going to go with the hygrometer first. So the hygrometer measures our temperature. Sorry, our come on, there we go. It's going to measure our humidity. So I'm going to put that right up here in the back where it's going to be floating up. And where I'm not going to accidentally spray it with water. And we'll put our temperature probe on the opposite side so I can monitor the temperature in here up at the top, where she will most likely be hanging out. There we go. Get those set and where I want them. Now we will begin to reinstall the tank top. Okay. Okay. There we go. Pull out the excess cabling so that she doesn't have just a bunch of loose wire in here. Okay. Okay. Voila. If you can, without messing with the broadcast, get a couple pics of Ripley hanging out. I can. So I will open up my phone and I will snap some pictures of the dainty, scuttly Ripley just chilling out in the open for the first time since I got her. That's a terrible picture. Okay. So I think we are ready to risk putting her in. We have everything we need. We have our microfauna. We have our cleaner crew. They are hidden in there, and I will keep an eye out. Oop, I see one in here. We have everything humidified. We are looking at right now 73 degrees and 65% humidity in here. We are going to crank that up slowly but surely as time goes on. Get that into the 70s for Ripley. And this moss is going to do just a fantastic job of maintaining humidity for us. So with that, we are going to put the star of the show into her home. I need to open up the chat again. There we go. Hey, Christian. Okay, so time to put Ripley in her new home. Carefully as we can be with her. She loves to scuttle, but hopefully she's going to scuttle right into this new home. I'm quick checking this over, make sure we're good. Okay. So, Christian, are you afraid of spiders? Because Christian didn't get a chance to see Ripley earlier. Spiders are badass. All right, Christian. All right, another warning. I'm bringing Ripley over. You have until I get over there to not look at this camera or this live stream. So there is Ripley in all of her scuttly glory. She's got her antenniform legs stretched out right now. Yeah, she's just hugging that rock. She's really not happy with anything that's happened, but I'm sure she will enjoy her new home soon. What variety of so she's not a spider. I should have stated earlier that again, she's not a spider. She's a tailless whip scorpion, an amblypygid. Specifically, I believe she is Phrynus Amblypygids. They don't get super big. She actually is pretty decent sized, but all right, we are going to try to get her to scuttle in to her new home. I'm just going to kind of set this in, and I'm going to give her a poke. And she ran onto the bottom of this right here. Not exactly a good first run. Okay, let's do this then. Let's do this. Let's put you in a position. Go on. Hey, come on. There you go. Hey, and there she is. She has gone into her new home. I don't think she quite knows what to make of it. She's kind of shoved down up against the moss. I'll give things one last spritz. And, yep, give her a little spritz. She's like, wait, what's that? She really doesn't know what to make of this. I'm going to have to oil those. But there we go. We have successfully rehomed Ripley, our Tailless Whip Scorpion. I have a nice new lamp set up for her with some nice light bulbs. I'm going to try out using a black light bulb for her as a night light. We'll see if that sticks. It might not. But otherwise, I think we've got everything all set. I am going to move her into her new position, which means I need to move some stuff out of my way. Okay. Put her tank top on top of Sue's tank and spook him. He really is a monster. I want to get a picture of him full size. Okay. And we just carefully take this tank. And put it right in. Like a glove. Yep, that worked. Very cool. Hook up her lamps because bug need lamp. Oop. I need to get this just barely off of the... There we go. Okay. And then stick that in place. Pull these cables up. I think I'm really stretching how far over this goes. Oh yeah. I'm going to push that a little more in the corner so I have more slack on these cables. Okay. There we go. Raise this up just a little bit more. There we go. So it's not resting right on top of that. And just one more cable holder right here. And there we go. Ripley's brand new home is complete with her nightlight. I should turn on this one's nightlight too. Nope. There it is. Nightlights. I like my bugs having nightlights. The other two have nightlights, but they're super bright. So, thank you very much for joining us for a special broadcast of Nick's News where we rehomed our Tailless Whip Scorpion of Phrynus Amblypygids named Ripley, the Scuttling Nightmare. Ripley has a brand new home, and I hope that they enjoy it. That's about it for us. Julie says, cats have meds and treats, and I'm making dinner. Very cool. So, yeah. That's about it. I thank you all so much again for tuning in or catching this replay on the Nick's News YouTube page. Our next broadcast is going to be on August 3rd. It'll be a good news episode, and it should be a great one. We have a lot of great stuff lined up. You can check us out on our socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and of course here on YouTube, where you can check out all the good news that we broadcast on a weekly basis. as always, I love you all. Thank you so much for everything that you do, all of the support, and getting Nick's News' Hope Core out into the universe, out into the algorithms. All of your interaction with our content continues to drive Nick's News' growth, and I am so happy for each and every one of you. Thank you all again. I love you all. Have a great night, and I will play us out. I forgot a mouse pad.